Over the years, there have been ongoing reports across a number of platforms about missing persons from all over the country. Women and children are mostly targeted in these kidnapping and human trafficking incidents. A few weeks ago, a 16-year-old teenager was found murdered in an open field days after she went missing. So just how prevalent are cases of missing persons in the country? We speak to Missing Children South Africa criminologist and national coordinator Bianca van Aswegen, who gives us some insight there. Bianca, very good morning to you. Thank you for your time. It's really been noted that more than ever, this festive season period is one that many should be cautious of when it comes to cases of missing children and women. Why is that?
Yes, good morning. We've seen increasing cases, over the past few years, but this is really coming to a point where each festive season we see more and more cases being reported to us. We've gone through lockdown, we've gone through COVID, people are desperate, economical situations that has changed, people have lost their jobs. So the increasing number of these syndicates, for instance, with kidnappings and human trafficking, have escalated tremendously in our country. Children go missing. We've seen our beaches being busy, at shopping malls. People are more relaxed over this festive season and just not thinking of our children's safety and putting that out as a priority.
And when it comes to just classifying this matter and getting a breakdown of the different elements which come with it, are we looking at a multifaceted approach which would entail kidnapping incidents, or maybe a mentally ill patient who may just, go off in a direction and not be found again? Or is it, well calculated and orchestrated a crime that's taking place right underneath our noses?
We've got different reasons why children and people actually go missing. So we deal, yes, with the mentally challenged, children with autism or Down syndrome that tend to wander off and get lost, or elderly people with dementia. Then we've also seen cases of people getting into car accidents with our roads being so busy, unfortunately without identification and ending up being unidentified in our morgues. We've also seen kidnapping cases, kidnapping for different reasons. We've got ransom demand kidnappings, opportunistic kidnappings. We've got human trafficking happening. So there's so many reasons around a person or child that goes missing.
And when it comes to the numbers that are out there, just to put out a message and a word of caution to parents, families, guardians, especially when it comes to children and women, what are the numbers looking like? And is there also a sense that perhaps the most vulnerable are women and children, but boy children as well as men can also be exposed to this?
Yes. Now, this is something that we always reiterate, is that it's not only happening to women and to girls, but men and boys are just as vulnerable to the fact to fall victim to either kidnappings, human trafficking, or go missing for any reason whatsoever. Unfortunately, statistics is a difficult thing to explain on how many children or how many people are currently missing. But we've seen an increase of cases of kidnappings, over 1,000 kidnappings being reported in our country each month. Then also, if we look at the statistics, it only gives us a general indication of what we're actually facing in our country. We've got people that don't report these cases, people that are unable to get to police stations to report cases. We've actually unfortunately seen cases where parents are selling off their own children to human trafficking. So those cases don't get reported. So statistics only gives us a general indication. It is much worse than we actually think the situation is.
We've also seen an increase in the number of business people getting kidnapped in exchange for money, and of course pointing to a very desperate and vulnerable situation for their families.
Yes, it's a low risk, high crime rate that we're looking at when it comes to kidnappings. Money is involved, extortion cases are happening. So we have to be very vigilant, especially driving from and to from work. If you are a businessman that has a lot of money, please take precaution. If there's families, that know they are being watched, please report it. Anything that needs to be done to keep yourself and your family and your children safe needs to be done now.
There's also, what raised alarms was really the number of children under the age of 8 coming from Zimbabwe into South Africa. A lot of questions asked there about the nature of this trip. Was it a kidnapping? Were these children going to be used for other means, or did they genuinely have the consent of their parents? A lot of confusion around that. What does an incident like that point to when it comes to the seriousness of, the possibility of human trafficking, as well as kidnappings and the vulnerability of children in South Africa?
Yes, now that case is currently being investigated, but if we look at general in human trafficking itself, depending on what the victim is going to be used for, who the victim will be. Children, we look mostly at illegal adoptions, very young children, sexual exploitation, and also that of forced labor. But we need to remember that children are more vulnerable than adults, but adults also fall victim to different types of human trafficking. And as mentioned, depending on what they were going to be used for is where they would have ended up. South Africa is a transit, export and import destination for human trafficking. That meaning that we've got human trafficking victims being used within our country. We've got trafficking victims taken in our country and taken out of our borders. And then also, such as this case that is a suspected human trafficking case, children being brought in or adults being brought in from other countries into South Africa to be used for different reasons.
When it comes to the special units tracking these syndicates, or dedicated officers really just trying to trace this sector of society, how specialized are the units here in South Africa? And also perhaps expand a little bit on the process of reporting a missing child. Is it still a point where you need to wait a certain period before going to the police station and reporting your case?
We've got specialized units, the anti-human trafficking and the anti-kidnapping unit within our Hawks that are specialized in these fields and that are trying to make a big difference in combating human trafficking and kidnapping. But it's not just our mandate as organizations and their mandate to stand up against this. The whole country, South Africa, needs to stand with us to help us in fighting kidnappings and human trafficking. Coming to the reporting of a child or a person as missing, people are still under the impression that they have to wait 24 hours. That does not exist. The first 24 hours to 48 hours is absolutely crucial when a child goes missing. So it needs to be reported to your nearest police station immediately so action can be taken. Please also contact us at Missing Children South Africa so we can assist. This is very important because when time lapses, especially when it comes to a kidnapping or a human trafficking case, the child or person that has been taken could be anywhere within that 24 hours to 48 hours. So it's absolutely crucial to please report it immediately so action can be taken.
When it comes to some tips around trying to get help or to avoid falling victim to kidnapping, what would you advise? I mean, should one report this matter with the police but also try and get a private investigator? What should the process be? And some tips when it comes to really being savvy and reducing risk.
Child safety is priority, so we urge parents and guardians to please be vigilant, not just during the festive season. This happens during the year. It's a busier time this time of year when everybody's on holiday, our shopping malls are busy, our beaches are busy, people are traveling with their children, stopping at rest stops. So we just need to be more vigilant about our surroundings. For instance, young children, dress them in brightly colored clothes so they're easily spotted in a crowd of people. Our teenagers, please use the buddy system. Always stay in a group of friends. Never go anywhere by yourself. Also, young women, young men, or anyone traveling alone, please inform someone when you're leaving, where you're leaving, what time you will be arriving, what route you are taking. It's all these small little things that can make such a big difference. So safety is priority when it comes to over festive season. And also, this is a topic that should not just be discussed over this time of year. It should be discussed on a daily basis throughout the year, because that is something that is happening on a daily basis where children are going missing. People are being taken for human trafficking and kidnapped.
Bianca, just some advice on how people can get hold of you should they require more information or some concerns which may arise and one is trying to get a better understanding and more depth around what to do. How do they get in touch with you?
Yes, please visit our website. It's www.missingchildren.org.za. I'll repeat that. It's www.missingchildren.org.za. All our emergency contact details are on there. There's also a form that you can click on that directly gives you a form on how to report a person directly to our organization. Just on your previous question also, if you do need any other assistance than that of the police, that is why we are there as Missing Children South Africa to assist. We're the largest free organization in South Africa to assist with all missing persons cases. We've got some great safety tips on our website available for parents, for children, and some school holiday safety tips. We've also got an interim ID kit that parents can download full in and that it's kept for safekeeping. Should you find yourself in an emergency situation where your child has gone missing, you've got all the necessary information on hand. Please also support our organization by clicking on the donate button and help us keep our children safe in South Africa. We wish everyone a Merry Christmas, but also thinking of those that still have children and loved ones that are missing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that heartwarming message. That was Missing Children South Africa criminologist and national coordinator Bianca van Aswegen, really just bringing out tips and a word of caution as we head well into the festive season with a number of kidnappings which have been reported and how to stay alert.